What's up, folks? This is PubGPS, Financial Wisdom on Tap. Today is our first ever YouTube video, and I'm super excited to get this going. I'm also super uncomfortable in having to hear my voice and see myself on camera. So come on in and join me. Today we're going to be talking about the very basics, and we're going to be building, there it is, our financial planning pyramid. It sounds like a pyramid scheme, but really it's about laying the right groundwork with which to build your future. So the first step is for me to draw it and to show off my artistic abilities. There we have it. Not too bad. The very first step that we take in building your financial plan is to get you organized. This has to do with the money that is leaving your financial life, as well as the money that's coming into your financial life. Some of the topics that we cover include whether or not everything gets direct deposited to one checking account, whether you're splitting it into multiple accounts, what credit cards you're using, how you're spending your money. I mean, in today's age, there's 15 different ways that you can spend your money. There's probably 5 or 6 ways that you could save it. But at the end of the day, it's just really easy for your money to evaporate from your hands. So we want to have a surefire system that makes sure that your goals are getting addressed first. And the best way to do that is to start to incorporate a certain amount of automation. So that's our basis, is we have to get organized and figure out what it is that we're working with. The next level in the pyramid is I'm just going to put CYA, which stands for cover your ass. This has to do with planning for the things that you never want to have happen before you always plan for the things that do. So things that would fall into this range include our risk management and our insurances. This is having the proper insurances in place so that if life happens, you're covered. Now, I don't want us to be insurance poor, but it's good to understand what the risks are, especially when it comes to things that could be completely devastating and life-altering. From here, we move up to the next level, and this is your emergency reserve and what plan you have for that. This is a super boring part of the plan, but you have to have savings or you have to have a backup, because even when you have a plan that's going really well, there's an iceberg waiting for you to hit it and to sink that ship. You need to give yourself a buffer, and how much that buffer is something that we'll talk about in future videos, and also where you keep that money. From there, we want to start to address what your goals are. And this is a really common word in the financial planning space. I don't think there's a better word for it, but I also hate it at the same time. You sit down and you go, well, what are your goals? Well, when I ask myself that question, I know what my goals are, but I don't know what they're going to be 6 months or a year from now. So it's very difficult to say, well, 10 years from now, I want to do this. 10 is not a big number. 10 years is a really long time. So when you talk about what your goals are, it's good to put them in writing and review them frequently, because as your life changes and evolves, your goals are going to likely change, which means that your plan needs to change with it. One of our most common goals is planning for retirement. So this means that even if you're not sure if you're going to work till 55 or 60 or 65, you want to be doing the right things today, regardless of what point you are in your career, in order to make sure that you're on track and you're not handicapping that future version of yourself. Now, after this, these are planned for. It doesn't matter what you do with the rest of the money. You know, I like to tell people that money should not be a source of stress. As long as the foundation is built well and you're comfortable, I'm being extreme, but I don't care if you throw it out the window or light it on fire. As long as you're happy and you're fulfilled and the plan is on track. If you're stressed and you're worried about, well, should I cut back on groceries? Do I go out to eat too much? Well, we need to revisit it. And clearly this part of the plan is not working as well as it should be. Now, encompassing all of this, we have your estate plan. It is important that you have the proper documents and you're having the right conversations to make sure that should anything happen to you, your children are taken care of if you have them, or the things that you care about, and two, that the things that are important to you go to the people that you intended to. This one often gets overlooked in the financial planning process, but it is so absolutely very important. Very few of the decisions that you're making today don't have an impact on your income taxes. Even with the new tax legislation, when you think about how much simpler supposedly it's gotten, the moves that you make today, the domino that you push over today, has a cascading effect. And it oftentimes comes back to the income tax needs to be addressed, or tax planning, in order to try and save you as much money as possible. So this is our financial planning pyramid. We need to get organized and know what we're working with. We need to cover our rear. We need to have a plan for when things don't go the way that we want. We need to make sure that our goals are identified, but we understand that they're likely to change. We need to ensure that our retirement plan is on track, and also that you're spending money on the things that is also important to you. Life can be short, and it's not always about saving, it's about getting the most fulfillment. We want your estate plan in place, and we always want to be reviewing how we kind of give Uncle Sam the least amount as legally possible. Thanks for joining us today. This was a lot of fun. I want you to come back, and we'll be posting some more videos very soon.